Disney has really been off its game lately, with its safe and predictable movies that have lost its magic. But why is that? Today, let's look back and compare Disney's latest work to DreamWorks and Sony's, two competitors that I am far more excited about. I feel so dirty saying this, but Disney's Wish never fully commits to its 2D animation, with it actually being 3D in disguise. And with the animators holding back, it shows, with the animation looking restrained and cautious, never being able to fully express itself. The backgrounds have this washed out faded watercolor look, with the colors being sharper and more 3D, making them feel out of place. Wish just doesn't have anything special about the animation. The wishes are just blue circles. That's how Disney sees your imagination and dreams. Meanwhile, Sony's K-pop Demon Hunters animation is so expressive and clear that it could be a silent movie, and everyone would know exactly what is happening. Demon Hunter characters are all distinct in their movement, with a character like Mira having a much stiffer and slower movement, showing her goth and over-it attitude. Also, unlike Disney's Wish, this movie does not need any flashy tricks like fake 2D animation. Instead, it finds beauty in everyday life. Let's move on to the Wild Robot. I don't know how to put this, but if this movie did not make you cry, or at least feel something in your heart, you are dead inside. This film lets the emotion build naturally, slowly building until it hits you like a wave. There are no clear heroes or villains here. It simply lays out the case for both sides, and lets you decide. Every character gets their moment to shine. Unlike Disney movies, that tend to keep the spotlight locked on the main character and villain, the conflict is simple, but works because of how real it feels. The movie completely flips the Disney formula. Yes, it's a love story, but not romantic love. It's about the deep, personal love between a robot mom and her bald son. The dialogue feels almost poetic, going beyond just telling the story, with lines like, "If his heart can pay the balance," that stay with you long after the story's over. Meanwhile, Encanto is one of the best Disney films in recent times, but even Disney at its best comes nowhere near as good as DreamWorks at its best. The characters only get one song each to explore them, with most of their character development happening right after their song. The story is stupidly simple and small, acting more like a charming but powerful parable instead of a grand adventure. The only real memorable thing is the backstory of the grandmother, played to one of their best songs, Dos Arguitas. Everything else is pretty good or just acceptable. This movie's only real saving grace is the amazing characters, fun songs, and animation. Sony's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a sequel built from the ground up, asking new, daring questions and exploring the multiverse in greater detail. Sony also had the guts to make Gwen the new main character for this movie instead of Miles. The animation is even bolder and more creative than anything we have seen. Meanwhile, Moana 2 feels like Disney trying to be hip and cool with a stolen story from a new creative team and TikTok artists who destroyed the music. Disney was known for its impressive musical talent, featuring legendary composers like Alan Menken Steven Schwartz and Lin-Manuel Miranda, but instead they hired two rookie TikTok artists who clearly didn't know what they were doing. I would not say I was excited for this movie. I was excited to return to the world again and see Moana and Maui, but other than that, I just go to see these sequels to check them off my list, with most of them feeling very rushed and just not as thought out as the original, with not much new things to talk about. Disney is not fighting the other studios, it's fighting itself, its legacy with Walt Disney, and losing. Instead of trying to do better, it's stuck in the past, trying to honor Walt and relive their glory days. But audiences don't want the past shoved down their throat. They want to remember it the way they saw it. And with Disney Plus, it's time for Disney to move on and create a new legacy.